All right, today on Cabal Cast, we're going to be in Command & Conquer 3 Tiberium Wars to do a 1 vs 1 video commentary. So, not too much on the King's Wrath replay system, and I didn't feel like doing a noob training video commentary today. So I looked around, and I checked the Tiberium Wars section, and I found out that Technique has posted a bunch of replays of him in Shocktapus, which is shock treatment, played like a best of 7 series. So I decided to choose one replay and see how it is. So we got the Tournament Arena here, Shocktapus and Technique. So it's going to be a nod versus random. And let's start on the bottom right here. We see Technique, the latter Season 3 champion. Technique is playing as the green chocolate nod. And then up in the top left here, we see Shocktapus, which is shock treatment. It's playing as the pink chocolate GDI. So this is Tiberian Wars, not Kane's Wrath. So we could be seeing some emissary. Speaking of emissary, so emissary is a good idea here because your blue Tiberium field basically is like a lifesaver in Tiberium Wars. And if you can catch that early, you can get pretty much double or almost triple of what you can make from a green Tiberium field. So Shocktapus is going to be going with some Rifleman Squad scouts to capture his own tip spike, and same thing for a Technique. He's got his own Saboteur with a couple of militant squads as well. So both players are going to get 25 credits a second. Since it's Tiberium Wars, not Kane's Wrath, it's going to be 25 credits a second, which is you can get $750 back, which is a huge bonus. And then it looks like Shocktapus is going to go for a triple engineer rush, APC engineer rush, and Technique's not going to pick up on this because he doesn't have any scouts going throughout that center half of the map. He is going to go for a raider buggy, so he's going to go for some anti-scouting and a couple of bikes himself. And war factories in Tiberium Wars, just so you know, do give build radius. And looks like the emissary has been deployed and he got that refinery. So Shocktapus, he's probably going to go capture some refineries or the MCV and see if he can catch Technique off guard. But we will see. There's a 1 and a 2, and I'm not sure where that APC is. But I'm pretty sure Technique obviously knew that when he was going to go up against GDI, he was going to be going against APC engineers. So it's good that he went for some bikes and buggies, couple of, well, mainly bikes, but one buggy. And he's just going to go hunt for those APC engineers. One APC probably will go capture that tip spike, because that's a pretty simple thing to capture instead of like selling off those structures right here. But looks like one of those APCs has got to the top here, and Technique has built the selling, and he will capture and destroy that engineer, which is quite nice. That other APC engineer is right here. He's going to be going for that tip spike, and he does manage to capture it. And the other APC engineer is right in here in Technique's base, and he captures the MCV. Oh, what? How did Technique not get that? Oh, wow. And then MCV is going to go down. Oh, Technique got jumped there. Oh, man, that was insane. So, Shocktapus has managed to force to sell off one of the refineries, capture a tip spike, and capture Technique's MCV. That is huge. Technique has to go for another MCV. So, while he's doing that, he's going to go for some attack bikes and find out that Shocktapus is at the bottom half of the field here. He's not set up just yet, but he's going for some missile squads, although there's a buggy here to take care of those rocket squads. And now that the Harvester with full load of blue tib is going to be destroyed inside that refinery, which is not good for Shocktapus. He's got 4, 5, and 2 in this field right here, which is a very good ratio. But he's not going to be having any more Harvesters on that blue field, which kind of sucks. And Technique, meanwhile, he is on low power, so he's going to have to get that MCV out pretty damn quickly. And he does have one right now. So in doing this, Shocktapus was ahead, but now he's going to be probably even, I would say, because he did lose his Harvester at the blue expansion field, and he's going to have to force to build up another refinery and another Harvester to make up for that. And in doing this, Technique still has double War Factory, and he's still pumping out those Scorpion tanks, which is quite good, and he's harvesting almost all of his blue tip. So he did get a lot of economy from that, and in doing that, got his MCV out quite quickly. And now he's going to be going for some more refineries on this green expansion field. But Shocktapus, meanwhile, has gone for a crane, and he's going to go for another War Factory with some pit bulls here. And Technique notices this, goes immediately into some Scorpion tanks, and these will push back these pit bulls just a little bit, but they're in the base of Shocktapus now. And the expansion is going to be under attack, and that Harvester is taking a little bit of damage as well. That APC will die, and I'm not sure why Shocktapus force fire on the ground there, but yeah. So Technique he's got these Scorpion tanks, and this is just to counter these pit bulls, because you can't counter bikes with pit bulls. That just does not work unless you have an insane number of them. And looks like Shocktapus, does have 2 and 1 on this field, which is okay, but he still needs a lot of economy. And to push Technique back like this for his Scorpion tanks is going to be very, very hard. And for these Predator tanks, actually, are going to be doing very good damage. And pushing back these Scorpion tanks, because Predator tanks will destroy Scorpion tank one-on-one, even with lasers and dozer blades. So with this whole scenario, Technique now is probably going to be teching up. Nope, he didn't tech up yet. He's just getting more refineries on that field, which is good. These Scorpion tank, double War Factor Scorpion tanks, is keeping Shocktapus inside his base. But now, since he has some Predator tanks out, it's going to be a lot harder for Technique to hold off this assault, just in case Shocktapus wants to go in and move into his base. But Shocktapus is at tier 2 with his command post. He's probably going to go for a tech lab, I think, because you can't really do anything with a command post in Tiberium Wars, unless you go for an airfield, which you could go for. But Technique's he's got a Hand of Nod out and going for some rocket squads out. So he's got the triple war factory. Okay, but he's sold on cash just a little bit. He mined all of his blue tib. And Shocktapus, meanwhile, is just getting more refineries. He's going to go for an armory station, so he's going to get for some composite armor for his infantry. And this is pretty good because composite armor, if you add it into consideration, does make an infantry squad act like almost a commando, which is quite good. That tip spike is about almost 40% down to its health. Technique got that tip spike back, mind you. And these Scorpion tanks are just trying to poke inside the base and Shocktapus. But with how small Tournament Arena is, it's pretty easy to counter the direction that these Scorpion tanks will go for him. And one of these Scorpion tanks is doing like a little bit of fucking chicken, which is quite funny, I find. But with this Predator tank rocket squad combo, it's going to be pretty hard for Technique to break into his base, especially since when Technique has to deal with these sniper teams that are coming out. And sniper teams against infantry is quite powerful. So with this in mind, he's also got the composite armor. He's keeping the armory station because he wants to build more sniper teams. He could call down the GTA Airborne, but I'm not sure. Oh yeah, but he did have an airfield. So it's going to be pretty much like the No Man's Land section is right here. And both these players are just trying to poke inside the base and just see what they can find. And just do some poking and prodding. But with Technique, he needs more than just Scorpion tanks, because with this amount of armor he has to deal with, he might have to go for some Avatars, Venoms, or Vertigo Bombers. And both players are at tier 3 now, and the Tech Lab is going to be producing... There could be some Dozer Blades. By the way, Dozer Blades are at the Tech Lab and not their Operations Center in Tiberium Wars, just so you know. Shocktapus is going to go for some Juggernauts, and he could, since he has a couple of sniper teams, I'm not sure if he can use the Bombard ability, which is probably the most underused ability in Tiberium Wars, but we'll see. I'm not sure if I see those sniper teams anywhere on the map here. But he does throw it on the radar scan, and that is an indicator that he's just building some Scorpion tanks. He's not going to go for some Venoms. Oh, we see a Shock Artillery coming in, and Shock Artillery is going to be putting down the MCV and a couple of Scorpion tanks, but here comes the huge Armada. And what is this, a mine drop? It is a mine drop, and it does get a Predator tank, but that wasn't the best mine drop, I think. If he would have placed it a little bit more here, then it would have caught the entire Predator tank Armada. But the Dozer Blades are coming in. Oh, the railguns are just finished. That was perfect timing from Shocktapus. And these Scorpion tanks are all dead meat, because he can't really deal with these sort of things. Although that there's a lot of Predator tanks here, but the Scorpion tanks do not have the Dozer Blades, and they just overwhelm all of Shocktapus's forces. That was huge. I could have sworn that those Predator tanks with the railguns would have destroyed all these Scorpion tanks, but I guess there was way too many Scorpion tanks, and now these Juggernauts are all getting absolutely massacred. And with that in mind, all these Scorpion tanks are losing numbers just a little bit. But with Technique, now there's a couple of Venoms here, and they are taking out the infantry as well. So all that damage was just so that tank... Oh my god, that was a huge sonic shot from that sonic emitter. That was amazing there. So both players lost a lot of forces, and Technique has just finished up those lasers for those Scorpion tanks, which is quite good, which means the Venoms had the laser as well. So both players now are back to square one. More so Technique, because he just went for some spam Scorpion tanks, and Shocktapus lost a good chunk of his Predator tanks. Even with the railguns, he just couldn't stop Technique's Scorpion tanks. That was insane. So both players, like I said, are at square one, and the Tiberium on the map is almost right up. Technique has a little bit left from his main and his third expansion, but Shocktapus, meanwhile, has mined up all the Tiberium field on his side of the map, so he's going to have to make the most of what he's going to be building. And he's going for some Juggernauts still, and Juggernauts is a good counter to what Technique has, because Technique doesn't have any vertical bombers. He's just going to go for some Scorpion tanks, and I'm not sure how this well this is going to go. He throws down another radar scan, and he does see that there's some Venoms here. These Harvesters are on stealth because of the radar scan, but I'm not sure if he's going to be going in just yet, because he needs to get a lot of these rocket squads here. Because of the composite armor, they could match up against these Venoms a lot easier than if they didn't have composite armor, but the Shredder turn right here is taking a lot of damage, and a lot of Scorpion tank or Predator tanks are just getting lined up in formation. Going to go for a little bit of aggressive style mode, where the Predator tanks are in front and then the artillery's in the back. I forgot what that status is called, though. I think it's just called... It's not called pincer, it's called something else. But oh, we see a Tiberium coming in. So Technique has the Tip chemical plant, and he sold off the tech lab and operations center. So I guess he's just intent on going for some straight up Scorpion tanks. And because he has the dozer blades and the laser capacitors, I don't think he just really needs those two structures. But with this amount of force rate, it's gonna be pretty hard for Technique to stop. Although we see a plane coming in, this could be a Tip vapor bomb, and it's gonna be but that wasn't the best force right there. Because, oh, it did manage to take out a good chunk of infantry, but at this, Shocktapus was managed to coming in. But we'll also see a shock of artillery coming in from Shocktapus, and that was pretty good, I would say. But now it's going to be a massive battle here. Scorpion is going to do a little bit of a side maneuver as well. But here comes another plane, and this is just going to be a mine drop here. And, oh, that was a huge mine drop! Oh, man. Technique with the great... support powers there, and the pincer and the side shot there of the Scorpion tanks had just finished off Shocktapus, and that's GG. Wow, that was great by Technique. Showed us he didn't need tech. All he needed was dozer blades and Scorpion tanks and lasers, and then that was it, with a little bit of Venoms, and that stopped Shocktapus. So let him in a game. Not too shabby for a Tiberium War. So let's skip all that. So units scrapped, structures, resources, and stats. So 144,438 to Shocktapus and 130,083 to Technique. So Shocktapus had almost $12,000 more in favor of him than Technique. So Technique did very good on his Tiberium management, and then still managed to win the game over Shocktapus. All right, so there's a game on Tournament Arena. My name's Cabal, and I'll see you guys next time.